And so the racial one was it was this is what people called the different like groups. It was lighties, darkies, and shorties. So that was humans, erudites. Were the erudites? I'm pretty sure the erudites were lumped in with the humans. It's been a while. So it was humans, high elves, wood elves, possibly erudites, and then the darkies were dark elves, trolls, ogres, and the lizard men whose names I don't remember. And then the shorties were the short races. So you had gnomes, halflings, dwarves. Alright, so this guy right here is the function in the game that keeps you from getting lost. You can ask for guidance, and he'll tell you where your next tablet fragment is. So that wasn't in the original game. So it was really easy to not like know what where you need to go to get your next tablet. Like if you missed a tablet, you're like, oh man, where did I not look? He'll just tell you. Well, he'll give you a hint and get you in the right general direction. There's also a thing on your mini map, and I think it's there right now. Let me see. No, it's not on this map. Anyway, you'll get a light that'll appear on your mini map in the top left corner, and it's this like blue crystal, and it'll blink. It'll show up and let you know there is a shard in an area. Like it'll blink if it's in the more or less the zone you're in, and it'll flash rapidly if you're on the screen it's in. So they do take great pains to like give you easy to ease the like search for the tablets. So I actually googled what a pilchard was. Pilchards are basically giant sardines. They're related to sardines, but they're like 10 inches or more longer, or 10 inches or more long. That was very difficult to say. But apparently, like pilchards are like pilchard is also another word for sardine, and like, but generally refers to like a bigger variety of sardine or something. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about fish. I live in Texas. The fish that we eat are catfish, and catfish are not seafood. All right. Oh, really? So, by the way, where is it? We got the sizzling stone. If you could have actually returned the sizzling stone beforehand, and if you do, you actually get a slightly different scene here. But back to EverQuest though. So you had the racial, which was lighties, darkies, shorties. You had the alignment, which was good, evil, and neutral. You had religious, which I have no idea how it was split up, because I don't remember all the different gods in that game. And then there was Rawless, and I played on Rawless Sec. Rawless Sec was It was basically the Somalia of EverQuest. Like, one time when I was level 5 or 6, I got killed by a guy who was level 11 or 12, something like that. And he stole my cloth shoes. And he basically sent me a message and said, haha, you have been jacked for your shoes. And like, he killed me just to kill me for my shoes. He didn't even equip them. He says he destroyed them. But that's... So, in World of Warcraft, when you die, well, anybody can gank anybody, but there's no, like, net loss gain or anything like that for killing them. It's just, everybody just involved just loses time. In EverQuest, when you died, if a monster killed you, you lost experience. And if a player killed you, they could loot all the money off your corpse. So what people would do, nobody would carry any money on them. It was very dangerous to carry money in a PvP server. So this scene right here, by the way, doesn't happen if you return the Sizzling Stone beforehand. But I forgot to do that, so whatever. Another thing that made death really, really, really hard in EverQuest was that you got put back to your spawn point, but you were naked. Like, all of your equipment was on your dead body, and you had to run back to your dead body to get your equipment. So, yeah, that was called a corpse run. And I was actually part of a group, and this was not against, like, the terms of service or anything, because the rules back then for PvP were, as long as there's a PvP solution, Sony did not step into it. People hired us, because the corpses lasted 72 hours. People would hire us to grief, more or less. What we would do is we would go and we would kill somebody, and basically stand there and guard their body for 3 days until their equipment wore off. Like, until their equipment, like, just disappeared. Sometimes some of the players in our group would extort them and be like, okay, if you give us another item off your corpse, we'll let you grab your corpse. And we always let people know up front that we would do that if they were willing to pay for it. And most of the people were like, were okay with that. You know, it's like, oh, well, that hurts them a lot more, you know. Sometimes people hired us to get items from people. Because back then, like, when you killed somebody, you got all of their money and one piece of equipment that they were carrying. So what people would do is you couldn't take anything that was in a bag. Yes. Oh, by the way, this scene right here, you can either go directly to the shrine or you can go back to the castle and pick him up. And then you meet Maribel on the in this spot. But you save a little time by just going directly here. So that's what I did. But Maribel shows up here regardless. Anyway, we got... so, like, we got hired to kill a couple of ninja looters every once in a while, and, like, make them give us the item so we could give it to people. I didn't go to really any of those. I was one of the mid-level people, and generally speaking, we didn't, I played a cleric. So what I would do is I would buff everybody, and then stand back and heal them. Clerics also had a really awesome spell. It was called Flash of Light. Several classes had it. But, so, in EverQuest, you had to level your skills up. So, if you've played WoW Classic or Original, it's kind of like similar to, like, how the weapon skills work in that game. With the exception of, like, your schools of magic had to be leveled up as well, and it would like your spells could literally just fizzle and fail, and your level in that skill could take hours to raise. But the higher skill you had, the less chance of fizzle, the higher chance it would work. And Flash of Light was great because it literally just blacked the other person's screen. it blinded them is what it did. But like it wasn't like World of Warcraft where it's like you just miss all your attacks but you can still see what's going on. No, your entire screen went black. It's good times. Good times, good times. So we have put all the tablet pieces in, and this is going to be the general gameplay loop for the rest of the game. So, well, for a good portion of the remainder of the game. Like, not the rest of the game. But you go out, you find tablet pieces, you put them in, it takes you to a new area, you do the stuff in that area, maybe get some tablet pieces, then you go and unlock something new, you get more tablet pieces, which unlocks the next area. This game is very episodic. It's very, very episodic. But it's episodic in a way that is connected to the overall whole. A lot of the Dragon Quest games, I think about them, are very episodic. Dragon Quest VIII's not particularly that it's not like that. Dragon Quest IX is like that for sure. But this one is like probably the most episodic of all the Dragon Quest games. Because you go in, you do an area, you're done with that area. And you don't ever have to go... Well, I say ever, but you pretty much for the most part don't go back and visit the tablet areas after you're done with them. Unless you want to like go shopping or something, or you missed an item or whatever. So, Prince Kiefer is currently 17 years old. I think that both Oster and Maribel are 16. And I forgot to equip a weapon on Maribel, but that's fine. Yeah, that should be fine. It's not like she's going to be doing more than 1 or 2 points of damage anyway. But here we have our first battle. Time to first battle. 1 hour, 34. We'll say 34 minutes. It's currently like 1:33:45, but... So we want to just... And she doesn't have any spells. Okay. Kiefer's going to be doing most of our damage here. We probably could have killed one around if I had remembered to put the stick on Maribel, but I didn't. Unfortunately, just regular old punches, they miss a lot more than having the stick equipped. But yeah. It's not too bad. They're just slimes. Also, Kiefer's doing not as much damage as he usually does. Usually when I do this battle, Kiefer will do like 6 or 7 points of damage every swing. But, whatever. She has a point. No, we didn't. But it's still probably good that you're here. Alright, well, we'll figure out where home is first. Alright, so first things first, I want to transfer this over to Maribel. Give her that 2 extra attack points. And we're just going to walk over here. And we're going to meet Maeve. I like Maeve's hair. It's very floofy. I guess that makes sense. If you don't have them, you don't have them. So this right here is a really good example. So Kiefer looks fine. I think Kiefer looks actually pretty good. He looks great. But Maribel, there's something about her that looks weird. Oster to a lesser degree, but Maribel really just looks weird. She doesn't have a neck, and there's something about her, the way her shoulders and arms are, that just looks really weird at some angles. And she's, of course, planting the stuff. Huh, it's almost like she knows what's going on. So, we are currently on... We're not in Kansas anymore, if you haven't noticed. And Maeve actually is in the party. We can party talk with her. Prince Twit. And she actually will defend you in combat. She is extraordinarily powerful and all that, but it's really not worth grinding because, you know, it's just not worth grinding. But if you get into a battle between here and there, she will actually defend you. And she has an absurdly high critical rate, and... Anyway, this is the village of Ballymolly, and as you can see, they're tearing it down for some reason. And let's see how much money I have. 173. I want... There's no items here. There's only like one item here, and the merchant is back here. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go to the inn, and we're going to get the chest, or the item. Oh, gotta go into the side door over here. Yeah, there's no items in any of the other pots or anything. It's just this... just these plain clothes. So I have them to sell. And we're going to walk over to this shop right here. And we want to buy... we actually want to buy I want to buy both a copper sword and an oaken club. Let's see. Let's sell stuff real quick. Alright, so we're going to sell these plain clothes. And you're fine. We want to sell these plain clothes. And we want to sell these chimera wings for a cool 60 gold pieces. And we want to sell these rags. We want to sell this horse manure. No alchemy in this game, so there's no point in keeping stuff like that. And we want to buy a copper sword. Equip it on Oster. So Kiefer is pretty okay with having hand-me-down and not as good weapons because he's got higher natural attack than Oster. So I have 56. Alright, so we want to sell this cypress stick. And that should be fine for now. And we'll come back later and we'll buy the other one. We'll buy the Oaken Club. But for now, we're going to call it quits for this evening. We're going to confess our sins, even if they are EverQuest related, and we are going to save our game. And next time on Dragon Quest VII, we are going to find out what is going on in Valley Molly. What is going on indeed?